What's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. We are back here with the morning grind. I hope everybody's having a great week this week. And as always, I got my sidekick, my sister from another mister, Miss Ward. How you doing, Miss Ward?
Phenomenal, as always.
Love it. Love it. Well, thank you for joining us as always. And we also, Miss Ward lined up another special guest who's been on the show before, but it's been a while. So some of you might not know him. Some of you probably do know him. But he is one of my absolute favorite people. He's one of the people that I know I call when I'm like, what do I do? And I know Miss Ward's the same way. And that says something. If Miss Ward's calling you, asking you questions, that means that she thinks you're somebody. We got Phil Malonjao. Did I butcher that last name, Phil, or did I nail it?
No, you right on point. You're right
I
on
nailed
point.
it.
Got it,
How you doing, brother? Thanks for joining us.
man. I missed the action. It's life is busy, appliance is busy. You know how sealed system season runs.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Well, like I said, thank you for coming on, and thank you, Miss Ward, for lining it up. We're going to get some really good conversation out of this one. We might just have to pull the plug at like 8:45 at my time because this can go on forever. But Miss Ward's offered to pray us up, so we're going to pray, and then we are going to get into some convo. So let's go ahead and pray it up.
Lord, thank you for allowing us to rise this morning to be 6 feet above ground and not 6 feet below. Lord, open our hearts and minds and to be receptive to the gifts that will be shared with us in our industry. Lord, thank you for giving us this outstanding platform with the Service Alliance Group so we can communicate with the masses and make a difference in this industry from a real place. You know, we are not gurus, we are gurus because we do it every day, all day. With that said, Lord, I want to say thank you for my blessings and the blessings for everyone that this prayer falls on their ears. And Lord, please cover us as we go out and face the challenges and the triumphs of the day. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. All right, we got a few people checking in this morning. Jeremy from I Got Your Six Appliance Repair. Good to see you, brother. Saul, shout out to Marcone. Buenos dias, hermano. Good morning, Adam. Good to see you again. As always, Foreman Robinson. Friday. I was about to say it's not Friday yet, but you said Friday Eve. Yeah, we're almost there. We're almost there. Joe, good morning. Good to have you on. Here's a question. Somebody dropped Alexander Freites. I think that's a new name. I've never seen that name before. Thank you for joining us, sir. He said, good morning. What is a good place to start learning how to fix appliances? I'm going to let you take that one, Phil. What do you think?
Well, so I'll base it on I train a lot of techs from knowing nothing to knowing some to knowing it all. And that first standpoint is going to be figuring out how do you learn? Do you learn by touching? Do you learn by seeing? Do you learn, by reading? However it is. If you're a touch, a do kind of guy, buy a scrap appliance and start taking it apart and look at how it ticks. Start figuring it out. Follow along with some videos. But if you're a doer, take it apart. There's nothing to it but to do it. If you're a doer, if you like to learn by reading, there's plenty of pamphlets out there. There's lots of information on, appliances. If you're a school kind of person, you need to see it, touch it, hear it, do it, be told what to do, shown what to do, mentored through it. There's a lot of appliance schools that I recommend out there. But honestly, if you're going to ask my biased opinion, the best way to learn is to get hired by a company looking to train, and be motivated. Attitude is everything. Be motivated to learn and pair yourself with a good company that's willing to take you under the wings and show you what's going on. That's the long and short answer to that question for me.
Great answer.
Great answer.
I agree.
Great answer.
I definitely agree. All those points are key to success. It's the way you start. People don't realize the way you started It will affect you entrepreneurially, or even if you decide to be a lifelong learner, lifelong tech. It being a W-2 is nothing wrong with it because that's your first investor.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, this week's topic is health. We're talking about health in general, health in your business. And today we really want to touch on healthy relationships with warranty companies. Because one thing about Phil that I've learned over the few years that I've known him is that this man has great relationships with these warranty companies that he works with. So I think we should talk about that a little bit. There's always talk through all the Facebook groups, Appliance Alliance, Appliance Pro Talk, Appliance Boot Camp, all of them. There's always guys and gals on there talking about what warranties do I use? How do I get set up with these warranties? And getting set up is just the first step. Really having that good, healthy relationship with that company is so important. So I'll let you and Miss Ward take it over. I'm probably the least knowledgeable on this subject, so you guys have at it.
So I'll tell you what, I'll start off with, I'm the fish that swims against the sea. When it comes to warranty, I always see the comments, don't do any kind of warranties, only COD. I'm that guy that'll swim against the sea, and I say, why would you not do both? Why would you turn away work at any time? That comes from, a little introduction. I run a multi-shop service business with multiple techs. So, knowing your service and knowing your business is the key to warranty work. You have to know your business. If you don't know your business, you may be hurting yourself with warranty. If you're so inundated with COD calls, then yeah, obviously warranty is not going to be it for you. My general short mindset on warranty work, just to kind of start with the naysaying right on the beginning, not to do warranty. If you can make a profit from warranty, why not hire a guy to do warranty work? I like multiple techs. I like having lots of techs. I've never come across an issue where I was short on work. People go, well, I'm worried it's slowing down. When other people say it's slowing down for whatever reason, I feel like I'm speeding up. So I never have a shortage of work. That being said, before you even want to start talking about warranty work, you need to know from a business standpoint, running a business, what is your cost of doing business? How much does it cost you to put those keys in the hand of yourself or a tech when that truck leaves the driveway and it leaves the shop and you pull away? How much did that cost you to pull out of the driveway? If you don't know that number, I would avoid warranty work at first. Because what's going to happen is you're going to see a large variant in warranty offerings out there. I've seen offerings as low as $65 and as high as $800. So, if it costs you $92 to roll your truck, you'll never make money on a $65 manufacturer warranty, third-party warranty, however it be. And never be afraid to say no. Going into that, that's the preface. Now going into warranty work, I think me and Miss Ward are pretty apt to understanding the same page. Third parties, there's a lot of work to be had in it. In the very beginning, look at warranties and what the rates are. Accept the ones that are going to pay you right, and don't pull yourself into debt working for a warranty company. There are some out there that I don't want to start diming out warranty companies or like that on a podcast, but there are some out there that I wouldn't personally recommend because they pay their bills slow, and then you're going to go into debt trying to work for somebody, and you don't want to pay to work. You want to get paid to work.
Yeah.
And, kind of starting the conversation with this, the Service Alliance group, right? We're elevating the service industry, right? It says it right there in the bottom of the podcast. So in doing so, what we have right here is a great opportunity. All of us are working together here. None of us are looking at each other going, we're competitors. I can't talk to you or help you. We got to work as a team. And I can tell you, if we work and understand our business and our warranty rates, don't accept low warranty rates, and those warranty companies will either go away or raise their rates.
So let me say something real quick. let me say something on that because I don't want to breeze over what you just said. Our goal as a Service Alliance group is to elevate the industry. When you go out there and you work for these warranty companies and you accept those low ball rates, you are not elevating the industry. This is my opinion. I'm not speaking for Phil. I'm not speaking for Miss Ward. They can share with their 2 piece. My personal opinion is when you go out there, whether it's third party, whether it's manufacturer, whether it's whatever, when you go out there and you accept those low ball rates, you are bringing down the industry. It's like anything else in business. If you go out there and you're accepting the bottom dollar on the product that you're offering, our product that we are offering is our service to these customers. When you accept that bottom dollar, the low ball bottom dollar, you are bringing the value of this industry down. Now, if you're doing it because you're not a professional and you're just a low ball chucking a truck, I don't know what to tell you. But if you're a professional and you're out there doing quality work and you're doing it for these warranty companies accepting those low rates, in my personal opinion, I think you are bringing down the industry and not elevating it. And I think that's kind of what you were hinting at.
It was. Yeah, I'm not trying to dime anybody up, but yeah, that's the general concept of it. If we all say we need a better rate, then they're either going to give it to us or, kick rocks. Granted, they always find that Chuck in the truck, and then they call you like, "Hey, I sent it to Chuck. He really aggravated the customer. Can you go clean this up?" "Oh yeah, I'll clean it up, but it's going to cost you."
Exactly. I agree. So I have a quick I wanted to hit a couple of things. The first thing I want to go back to is the transparency level. Like, for instance, cost of goods, the cost of doing business. I think we might need to dissect that a little bit because a lot of the novices or newer people are just people who are not comfortable with business. It is what it is. We all learning. Can you explain how they even come up with that number? Because a lot of people, and I'm constantly talking about this on my channel, they're going to price something out, but they've left out so much cost that they forgot about because in their brain, they're looking at what's in front of them, the price of the part, the labor to do it, maybe that. They're not thinking about shipping. They're not thinking about gas in the truck, operating a business, the fees for if you have a brick and mortar or whatever the overhead costs. What do you recommend for someone that's starting out? How do they even figure out their cost of doing business?
Starting out is a tough one because you have no data, and that's going to come with change. So the first one right off the bat, your cost of doing business is pretty lengthy in calculation, but in short, it's how much did it cost to do it divided by how many service calls you have. That's the simplest answer you can give. It is not that simple, but if it cost me, in expenses, $100,000, and I had 100,000 calls, my cost of doing business was $1 per call. Granted, that math doesn't add up, but if I made 100,000, if my expenses, how much I had to write a check for and pay out, that's my pay. Kind of payroll is kind of different, but in short, what I paid out versus what I brought in. I spent $100,000 for the year. I ran 100 calls. My cost of doing business is roughly $1,000 per vehicle or per call. Obviously I have to bill $1,000 per service call to break even. That's the simplest calculation. It's not an accurate calculation. There's a lot that goes into it. Not enough to be covered in a 45-minute section.
True.
That's for sure. And honestly, I'll tell you, your best bet on learning more in depth with that is, sitting down with a mentor, joining a mastermind group, and getting a good mentor to kind of
Exactly.
bring someone to your shop. I can offline. I can recommend a couple people if you guys, don't have somebody. They come to you for 3 or 4 days. They look at your books. They help you out. That's some real big important things to go with that is to know your numbers. I'm sure you'll hear everybody talk about all the time about knowing your numbers. But it's real key to know how much it costs a truck roll. And you divide it by service call, not by service trips. We all generally know first time completes are going to make us more money than three visit calls. But you still want to go for, your data for the entire year, your entire week, your month, and start looking at your flexible cost of doing business and see how much did it cost to truck roll. And it's in short, it's your expenses divided by call volume.
All right. Well, that's a great answer. So there's another thing that you hit on about mentorship. Because I do, and this is why the Service Alliance Group is so important. They have access to masterminds, they have access to mentors. It's a great option. And of course, on my channel, I offer coaching and things of that nature. And the reason why I want to talk about this mentorship piece, because that's a two-sided situation. A lot of times people don't understand they have to bring their 200% self to those relationships, meaning that if you have a mentor that's going to take the time to mentor you, you need to have your life together. You follow me?
Absolutely.
Because business is hard, and whatever you are outside of business, you feel me? You're worse inside of business because of the pressure, the stress, the unforeseen territories and obstacles you're going to run against because it's life and we're human. So what I want to talk, like prime example, I've had people come to me who have full businesses and want me to mentor them. And they got 3 or 4 locations, but they're trying to get mentorship like they're a one-man shop. So, like in your experience, prime example, you know how you just said cost of goods and payroll and things of that nature. You had the great fortune of starting with 5 techs and surviving and staying afloat and fumbling your way. So that way, you not only did you have to learn how to run the business and run it properly, failure was not an option for you because you had them 5 additional families to feed. You had your own house to take care of with a growing family. And that's why I applaud you. That's why you're one of my first calls because I respect the way you do business. I respect your relationship with the manufacturers and how you stay up on top of the technical stuff, how you invest in the subscriptions, like all the stuff we're always preaching people to do. That's what I respect about you. So what I'm going to ask you is 2 things. One has to do with the one-man show. Even though that's not your area, but you have 100,000-foot view of if one person's running a business and they're having issues with coming up with their numbers, a lot of people leave out the salary for themselves. You follow me? So then when they go to hire somebody or expand, they never accommodated for that, nor did they build up enough funds to be able to have cushion for that payroll or those additional things. Can you just make a comment on that real quick?
Sure. And you did. I said it started. That was my first mistake in starting, is I didn't account for myself. I never put in. This is how much I want to make. All I thought of is I just want to own a business. And I came. Some of you guys know my story. I came into this business as a necessity. I worked for a TV repair company that went out of business on a Thursday, and they told us on a Tuesday. So I had 2 days to figure out my life, and a couple of us banded together and started a service company. But I didn't account for how much I needed to pay myself. I had my savings and said, well, this will get her done. I made a lot of mistakes along the way, and I picked up and I dusted off my feet and my knees, and kept pushing on. But no, I didn't account for myself. And I would tell you, that's probably the most important thing when building a business is you're building a business for yourself. You're not looking to pay the world to work. Nobody goes, I think I'm going to go flip hamburgers and I'm going to pay McDonald's $10 an hour so I can flip hamburgers. Nobody says that. So when we look at our own business, we get sidetracked with what is success and go, I want a business that has trophies and medals and everybody sees me as the biggest guy in the area. If that's your idea of success, then you can buy trophies. They're not that expensive. But you got to make sure what is success for you. And to be successful, you've got to be able to pay yourself. This is a job. This is work. We all say the job, but you got to pay yourself. And that needs to be in your calculation. Go, okay, how much does it cost to run my personal income in my personal household? How much does it cost to run my business household? Can I accommodate an additional technician? I make the same calculations when I hire a new guy. I go, all right, here's what we're looking at. I'm booked out 2.5 weeks. This is the money I'm bringing in. Here's our cushion. Can I bring in a guy? This is how much it's going to cost to bring in a new guy. I don't want to tap into my personal funds and go, okay, well, for the next month, I'm not going to pay myself so that I can pay a new guy in hopes that it does well. That's not a good way to do things, because if he flops, then you lost your investment, right? And that was your personal income. So making sure when you calculate that, you're calculating your own pay, whoever else you want to hire, whether it be an office staff, another technician, then you afford them into what you're already doing, and then plan your growth. Am I booked out 2 weeks? And if I bring another guy on, will it make me booked out 1 week? I think that's what you're asking, right? Kind of.
Exactly. That's perfect. So with the warranty companies, now, when you're working with the warranty companies and you go through and look at what they're offering, things of that nature, you choose a warranty company. What do you put in place, number one, to make sure that you have, you can take care of the incoming calls, not affect your current business and workflow? See, all this stuff I'm asking you is the steps, and I'm asking you because people need this, because they ask me this all the time. So what systems did you put in place so that you could handle the flow, structure the work orders, communicate with the customers, da 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 da?
All right. Well, that all boils down to your business. SOPs. You've got to have SOPs in place. You have to know how your business operates, and you need to make sure you're aligning yourself with a warranty company that operates the same way as you do. You don't want to sign up with a warranty company that doesn't operate the same way as you do, because now you have 2 SOPs to follow, and you're doing the job twice, and that's not a good way to do business. So you want to find a warranty company that aligns with your current SOPs, how you do business, how your processes are in place, and make sure you have a good process. And I can tell you, processes change every week. A warranty company is going to change a policy based on, now we see R600. So now the whole sealed system game is flipped upside down. Today we can torch, tomorrow we can't. Now we can torch again, now we can't. Today it's lock ring. Oh, now lock rings are backwards. You can use torches again. Following your policies are going to change 1,000 times. But putting them on paper, you need to put them on paper. And I call it the dummy system or the monkey system. You'd be able to hand your paper into the person to go, read this. That's how you should be able to do it. Now, I'm going to be guilty because I'm really far behind on some SOPs that I'm working on. So I'll be the first one to say, I'm guilty. I've got some SOPs to catch up on. I'll be the first one to give advice and not take it and say, hey, SOPs in place. Go to the SOP file and look at this. This is how you generically service power. A lot of warranties on service power. This is how you do this in service power. Even if it's something dumb, log into service power, use your credentials, go to service order, place the service order number here, step-by-step guide, because you might hire a new person, and then your SOPs can also be your training tools. Because if you have your SOPs and this is how you do it, you can use those as your training tools for your new people.
Okay, so do you think having those systems in place, it allows you to streamline your payment process? Like, your money's coming in, because I hear people complaining about, oh, I don't get paid. 99% of the time, they haven't submitted the paperwork properly, documentation, they don't follow up, they just set it and forget it. And look, I'm not about to be looking for my money. You better have my bag. But I'm going to make sure that none of it's going to reflect back on me. So are we going back to standard operation procedures again to make sure that happens? And make sure that these guys with these one-man shows, see, this is what kills me. One-man shows think they don't need SOPs, like everything is up here. No.
No,
Can you speak to that?
Oh, yeah. SOPs are important. You never know. When one of your guys are going to get hurt, you get hurt. You never know. We're a stressful job. I mean, I don't want to hide it. Most of us are eating fast food on the road every day. Heart condition's a thing for us. You never want to know, oh, I had a stroke, I had a heart attack, but it's all up here. And now your wife, who's been depending on you, is going to try to keep her business afloat. And she's going to go, man, I don't know what I'm doing. He had it all on top of his head. SOPs are important unless you are doing this Chuck in a Chuck style. You're ready to stop business. If if you're the only lifeline and you're going to stop business, if you're out of it, any work you have done, how does that work get built out if you're doing warranty? That's the importance of SOP is a guide to what happens if you're not there to do it for you. The one-man shows are important because even though you're one-man show, you're not, I'm sure you have support somewhere. Now, if you are a true one-man show that, you don't have a wife, you don't have kids to feed, it's either you or nothing, then I would still recommend SOPs if you are doing this more professionally than as a side hustle. If you're a side hustle, maybe you don't need an SOP. I know, I still think you should, but if you're just using it as a side hustle and you're doing it for Saturday, Sunday, maybe you don't need an SOP. But the minute you go, I think I can make a business out of this, you better have an SOP, because a business is going to run and grow. And as you grow, you don't want to leave money on the table because you weren't ready.
Okay. All right.
The table is kind of what got us into that question. You need to have a check to check your money. People like CODs because it's real easy to check your money. You're right there. They're going to hand you cash. They're going to make a credit card payment. They're going to hand you their check. You're going to deposit that check, and you're just going to let the bank be that process. They're going to tell you and send you a letter if that check, if the credit card was refunded, if the check bounced. You're going to wait for the email from the bank. When it comes to warranty companies, you have to have a process to go, where do I check if I don't get paid from, Samsung, LG, G, whoever, what is my process to make sure I'm getting paid? Because I think that's where a lot of people miss out on, is checking to make sure they get paid. They think the end of the day is they walk out of the house with a business and they go, okay, well, I finished the job. It must be billed. Like, no, you've got to bill it. You've got to request your money. I think that's the hard part of warranty, is requesting your money, because a lot of people are just used for instant satisfaction. They walk out of their home. They think the success point is when their washing machine's working, the dryer's fixed. At the end of the day, if you're a business owner, that's not your success point. The success point is when that money hits the account and you write yourself a personal check.
Yeah. Let me touch on that for a minute, because you are, and I'm going to be real transparent, and some of you guys are going to say, oh man, I did that exact same thing, and some of you are going to be like, man, TK, you're an idiot. I cringe when I think about how my accounts receivables were for probably the first 4 years running my business. I didn't have anything in place. Money came in. I looked at my bank account and there was money there, and I was happy. That was the gist of my accounts receivables. If nothing I say, write everything Phil says down, but if nothing I say during this podcast sinks in, let this sink in. Get your accounts receivables in place, and the procedures for those. If you don't know what that means, it means making sure that you're getting paid, whether it's property management, warranty, whatever, reconciling checks, making sure if you're using iWallet or Workies or whatever, reconciling those checks to make sure that everything's getting deposited and batched properly. Thousands and thousands of dollars are owed to me out there in the world, as the appliance guy and as Richmond Appliance Guys, that I didn't have my shit together and the money was not getting paid, and I had no idea. And until I got it straight, and then and the thing about it is, once you get it straight, you have to stay on top of it, and it's a daily, weekly thing. And it is so important, especially with the warranty companies, because like Phil said, it's not as simple as send the invoice, get paid. So oftentimes there's authorization steps. They need more information. Part of the warranty process that scares a lot of people is all of the back office legwork. We know how to go out there and fix their Samsung fridge or fix their LG dryer or whatever. The big part of warranty work, and this is where those SOPs come in place, is all of the back office legwork of going to the portal and submitting this and submitting that and getting authorization if it's over your limit. So make sure you're getting paid, because at the end of the day, if you're out there working for free, which I did for many jobs, you are making a monumental mistake. If there's one SOP you need in place, whether you're a chuck in a truck or a multi-tech organization, have your accounts receivable procedures straight, or you will leave money on the table and lose money, because it's easy to get bogged down and get way behind on it. So stay on top of it.
And you're not just leaving money on the table. A lot of times you paid for those parts. You paid the tech to fix it. You paid for the gas. You paid for the insurance. You paid to fix somebody else's unit. So
yeah,
you're also doing business. If you don't get paid on a call, that's how much you lost the part.
Yeah. Well, don't feel bad, TK. That's why I'm always people be looking at all Miss Ward care about is the money. Why you think I'm always saying I gotta pick up my bag? I'm picking up bags, I'm picking up bags over. I have to program myself subliminally because I've dropped the ball. I've lost tens of thousands of dollars, because I have such a massive reach. And when I didn't have a massive reach, I had the same problem. So wherever you go, you take you. So now what I do is I think it's important for people to streamline their processes. Like prime example, if you go do a COD and you use Square, you texting the customer for them to make the payment or whatever you're doing, you need to make sure those processes are streamlined on both sides for you and the recipient of the customer or the warranty company. So prime example, with my warranty companies, I have what's called a 24-hour process. And what that is like if I go to a unit and I have to submit authorization. I make sure I paste the jobs out or whoever I'm working with or one of my subs. I make sure I submit that stuff immediately. I don't care if I'm in McDonald's parking lot, on the side of I-10, in a rest stop, because I'm always on the road and I run a virtual office. So I submit it immediately. And then when I submit it, and this is something I'm going to tell y'all, please stop doing this. There's so many people that submit and they wait on pending authorization. Pick up the phone and call the warranty company and push it through. Develop relationships with those representatives. Miss Ward has a relationship with the front office, the back office. Me and the accounting department are on first name speaking terms. I call the accounting. This is how much I'm about my bag. I call the accounting department, and I know not only when they cutting the check, I know their end of month procedures. Like I work with a specific warranty company, and I know for a fact, okay, today is what, the second. I knew that on Monday they were running the end of the month. And then I also knew that on the Wednesday when they normally cut the checks, they was cutting it too. So that means I have a window of checks that are going to be 2 days apart because I understand their back end process. And that's what I'm trying to explain to people. You have to not, and you can't be intimidated because guess what? That's your money. So you need to go figure out what Grant Cardone says, who has my money? you know? And you should not be intimidated. You shouldn't be. If you go to submit an authorization, why would you wait on them to approve it when all you got to do is pick up the phone? Because you're being proactive. That way, your parts, like me, I show up to jobs with the parts. By the time I'm submitting, I'm basically already done the job 99% of the time because I'm about that one-stop completion. But that goes back to those processes. That's all I got.
Yes. Yep, you nailed it.
Oh, and shout out. I saw the comment just come up on the bottom to Miss Shrek. She's one of the best processes you'll ever see.
This one?
Right there. Ms. Ward was just saying about the relationships with the processors at the warranty companies. She has it on bag. She called everybody. She knows it within seconds. Approved, authorized technicians haven't even packed their tool bag up. She's texting them back, "Hey, approved. Install that part."
Exactly. Yeah. Let's get it. Let's get it.
It's so key, man, because those relationships like Miss Ward is talking about are throughout business entrepreneurship. Those healthy relationships that you establish. When I was doing third-party warranty with AHS and 210 and what was the other one I did? Cross Country, which I think there's something else now. I made it a point to establish good relationships with my representative. I didn't have it like Ms. Ward did. I didn't know the accountants and all that stuff, but I knew that my guy at AHS, he was the best. If I sent him an email, he was on it. If there was an issue, he was on it. And you guys can speak to this a little bit, but the warranty game is a numbers game. Those warranty companies are looking at numbers. They're looking at recalls. They're looking at your cost. They're looking at how many times you went out and fixed the appliance when 4 or 5 other guys couldn't. That's what really pushed us to the top of the warranty when we were doing it, because we'd go out on a call and 3 or 4 jacklegs have been out there. They don't know what they're doing because the jacklegs in Richmond are abundant. I mean that you can't drive 3 blocks without passing a chuck in a truck. So they're abundant here, and they're all doing warranty work. And when we were doing it, we would go out on these calls, and 2 or 3 guys have been out there. They can't fix it. We go in there, first call complete. It's something simple that we have experience. We know what we're doing. And the warranty companies look at that stuff, and they're looking at their recalls, and they're looking at all these things. So I'd like to hear from both of you a little bit about that, because in my opinion, it is a numbers game. And what are those things that they're looking at, and what can those guys and gals out there that are getting into the warranty game, what should they be focusing on to make sure that they're CYA covering their ass to make sure that they're doing things properly to not piss off the warranty company, but also not get taken advantage of by the warranty company.
So that's a hard one, because there's a very fine line right between the warranty company and the customer, because the customer sees your uniform and your truck. So they see, for me, they see Atomic Tech. They don't see warranty company ABC. They go, I see Atomic Tech. So there's a real fine line. Number one, first time complete. That's it. If you can first time complete, you can get anything. And there's a catch there. I'm going to roll it into with labor too. You want to increase your labor rates with a warranty company, decrease your parts costs with them. If you can fix a unit using 1 part or no parts, fix a unit using 1 part or no parts. I'll use a refrigerator, for example, an ice maker. I'm going for a first time complete. I will send a technician with an inlet valve and an ice maker. If he installs both and it only needed one or the other, I increased my parts cost. That's going to look at my overall cost. It's going to hurt me. So I tell my tech, hey, just install the one you need. He goes, okay, well, it just needs the ice maker. Install the ice maker. He goes, it didn't need either one. It just needed a defrost, or, the water filter had an issue, find something else, go to a 1 part or a no part. They're going to look at the overall cost and go, hey, I know that his labor is, $30 higher than the next guy, but his parts costs are $100 cheap. So his overall costs are saving us $70 on the service call. I'd rather put more money in my pocket than in a parts supplier. Now, I know there's some parts suppliers in here, I think I saw, but I'd rather put money in my pocket than the parts house's house. Now, when I buy parts, I buy from the parts house and I give them their money, but I don't want to sell a part that's not needed just because it's a warranty. That's where a lot of people fall into the bad loop with warranty companies. Is, they have the mentality, screw the warranty company. They're not paying me enough. I'm just going to go out for my first time complete with an ice maker, inlet valve, water filter, filter head, water tube, a new water line to the wall. They start replacing everything because they ordered it, and they're going to get, their 15 to 25% markup on those parts. So they're going to get there a little bit more that way. When across the board, you cut it down to 1 part, you're going to be able to increase your labor because of the overall cost. And then they're going to start dumping calls on you. And you're going to go, man, I'm getting too many calls. Let me hire another tech. Now that tech's making you more money. I'll give me more calls. I'm going to hire another tech. It snowballs pretty quick into being profitable real fast.
That's true. That's true, though. And I think that goes back to people really understanding percentages and profit. That goes back to a conversation Mike and Jason had earlier this week about KPIs. A lot of people don't understand, if you look at a bill, it's $1,000 and the parts cost $800. I mean, you made 20%. I mean, what is that? Where's your profit? 20%? But if you got $1,000 job and the parts cost $100, 90% profit. And that goes a long way but that goes back to understanding the business. It's like, at the end of the day, you have to be patient with yourself. And I'm really talking to a lot of the one-man shops, because I think the one-man shops work under a lot of stress. They got to feed their families. They got a lot going on. And I'm not taking anything from the multi, but before you can start hiring people, you need to get your own house in order. You got to pay yourself. If you're going to work with warranty companies, you got to develop great relationships, and you got to get a mentor, to be honest, because a lot of the people that I coach and I mentor, their averages have gone up because they understand the cost of doing business. They don't have a problem asking the warranty company for the accurate pricing. You follow me? But they also stand out in their markets as technicians of excellence. If they run into a technical issue, they call me. If not, I can't do it. I reach out to my round table to people like TK, Phil, things of that nature. But at the end of the day, when you're working with these warranty companies, you really want to make sure that you're not losing money. So many people, I've seen them go in debt. They got upset and they pointing the finger at the warranty company. But you really need, if you're pointing one at them, you're pointing four back at yourself. You got to really understand your business. Give yourself grace. Understand that you did not drop out the womb doing this. And that you have to understand that that is part. You can fall all the time, but if you fall, make sure you fall facing forward, because when you get up, you're still ahead. And I think that's so important in our business, because so many people, and I cannot stand this, think they can jump into appliance repair and get a quick lick. They think they can sign up to these warranty companies. They think they can just have the warranty company supplying the parts, and then they just charge for the labor, and then they halfway do the job. I've seen you guys, like LP was with us last week, and then he did a video on his channel upset because I gotta laugh, because I'm gonna try to do him but I'm gonna impersonate him. Sorry, LP. But he was on the channel. He said, look, I can't be going in these customers' houses, and I go in this lady's house and she on pit bull. I need her to be on friendly feline, because she mad because one of y'all came in and collected the fee and didn't fix nothing. You know what I mean? Y'all got to stop doing this. And he was livid, because he's a guy that takes pride in his work. He wants to help the customer, but he also wants to run a great business, and he doesn't want to go behind cleaning up the chuck and the drugs. If you can't fix it, just walk away. Just walk away. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Just walk away. I walk away.
Yeah, you tell the customer, you gotta be honest with the customer, like, look, this is more than what we can take care of. Call somebody that can.
And that's so true, y'all. That is something you newer guys and gals out there that are just getting into it, do not be afraid to say, this isn't within my realm of expertise. A customer is going to respect that way more than you going in there and stringing them along. Because we've all done it. I'm sure Phil and Miss Ward deal with it a lot. But when I was doing a lot of warranty work in my first few years, I would go out behind these guys, and they've been out there 4, 5, 6 times, and they've thrown part after part after part. And I'm thinking, do these people own a meter? Do they have any idea how to work? Like, it was embarrassed. I was embarrassed for the people. And these customers are hot. But on the flip side of that, I try to turn every negative into a positive. On the flip side of that, when you're the company that knows what they're doing and they're professional, and you come in and you save the day, because there's a certain bedside manner you need in dealing with these warranty customers, where you come in, and my partner reminded me of this yesterday. When he used to do Whirlpool warranty, he would always remind the customer, sir, ma'am, my goal here today is to help you. They're pissed, they're hot. Jackleg Joe's been out there 6 times. He's put 4 different parts on. He's strung her along for 2 months. They're mad. You go in there and you save the day with that first call complete, because you're a professional. You know what you're doing. You have a good network if you run into something. But like we said, don't be afraid when you do go in and you see that thing that's outside of your Gipper wheel. Just let them know. And that's one of the beauties. And I'm not saying you should do this often, but that's one of the things that I did like about warranty work. You are able to transfer those calls or decline those calls. You go out, and there were several times where I went out and I just called my rep and I said, hey, man, I have no idea about this unit. Like, I can try and I could do it, but I think you should send somebody else out. And they were few or far between. But that was one of the things that I liked. And another thing that I liked about warranty work when I was doing it is that you are able to turn it off. COD work's coming whether you like it or not. That you can't just shut your phone off and say, screw you guys. But with warranty, you can get put on hold. When I was building my company, if I was swamped with COD work, I'd call my reps from the warranty company and I'd say, hey, can you put me on hold for a week? Because I need to catch up. And they're not only okay with it, but the people that I dealt with, they wanted you to do that because they didn't want you being overburdened. They wanted that good customer service from your things. So that was a really big pro for me when I started doing it, because I could turn it off and I could catch up on my COD work or whatever. And it was a very nice feature. What are some of the other pros that you guys can think of? There's a lot of them, to be honest with you.
So multi-tech guy again. I send the new guys on the warranty stuff. I mean, I hate to say it, but warranty's a great way. Manufacturer warranty even more. It's a great way to teach the new guys.
Yeah.
You know, put them on something brand new, fresh, not like really worn in. It's the way to go. I mean, the new guys coming out learning, they have, you know, we're manufacturer authorized with many manufacturers, so they can call the manufacturer. You know, my guys know how to fix appliances, but you know, they come across some tough stuff. We have in-house tech support, but I think, you know, one of the benefits to manufacturing is manufacturer tech support. You know, we can call them and say, hey, I'm having an issue. And for the most part, across the board, I can use them on third party and COD being manufacturer warranty authorized. You know, we call them with weird issues, things we haven't seen, just some wild stuff that we can't find in service manual or some schematics. You know, it's kind of far in between that we can't find something, but there's times we call the manufacturer like, hey, I've got this crazy one and I've seen, you know, this, and no, oh yeah, let's do this because it's something we've seen a couple times way left field, something that you wouldn't even expect.
Yeah.
I agree. So with the manufacturers, do Phil, because you have a relationship with so many of them, how does the training go? I know they provide service bulletins, updated things of that nature, but how does the training, do some of them offer for you guys to come out and train, or do they come to your location and train, or?
All of the above. So I think LG is one of my bigger ones. I've had LG come to me multiple times and train in my facility with my guys. We bring them all in. You know, they just ask that we give them some actual training, not just like one tech. They're not coming for you one-on-one. But I brought my techs in, and LG sent Ben over, and, you know, he came and did a full training, R600 training. We did hands-on. I had an R600 refrigerator here. We cut it open as a group, and, you know, got the manufacturer saying, this is what the manufacturer says to do. As well as, you know, we're invited to, you know, Beko, Bosch, Thermador training, Miele. They invite us to the trainings they hold all the time. You know, I'm smack dab in the middle between Columbia, South Carolina, and Atlanta, Georgia. So manufacturers go to both cities all the time. So we have plenty of opportunity to do lots of manufacturer training going there. You know, if I give the guys, almost every manufacturer, I call my RSM, say, hey, you have a training guy that you can send to my shop if I get 5 or 6 guys, you know, and I can invite some of the other local servicers that are manufacturer authorized with them, come to my shop, and I mean, they'll put on trainings right in my shop if I offer my shop for it.
Well, I think that's key. Now, I'm not going to gloss over what you said. Now, this is why I love Phil. You heard what he said? Invite other local servicers. See, that's how the industry grows. This is a guy this is why this is one of my go-to guys, man. And he'd be so patient with me because I'd be stressed. I'd be like, really? Really? I really got to do this? I really got to cut this open? So at the end of the day, it goes back to relationships. Well, you know, Phil, I really appreciate you joining us and giving. Well, you know, we got to do a part 2 on the manufacturers. TK, I'm just saying.
Oh man, I didn't even know what time it was. You don't let me talk the whole time. You don't let me get in the zone and just start talking.
Well, we appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
You're giving our good game.
There's going to be a part 2. We're going to have you back. I know you're a busy man, and I know me and Ms. Ward are thankful that you took time to hang out with us, and everybody's got work to do, so we're going to get to it. But as always, we appreciate you, Ms. Ward. Phil, thank you for joining us. And I'll say this in closing. For you guys that are just getting started, build those healthy relationships right out the gate, whether it's with the warranty companies, whether it's with your team, whether it's with local technicians, whether it's with your supply house, different reps from different companies. These relationships are so important to the health of your business. We're talking about health this week. A healthy business has healthy relationships. It's just like in your personal life. if your relationship with your wife and your kids and your friends and your people in your world aren't healthy and good and what's the word I'm looking for? Symbiotic, if you will, then you're doing it wrong. You know, the relationships around you in business can make or break you as a business owner. So I'm very thankful for the relationships I have with you two. I'm thankful that I can call you guys and y'all can call me on my bull crap. And a lot of times I'll call Miss Ward or Phil just so I can hear them say that the choice that I'm gonna make is the right choice. I'll call Philip. I'm like, hey man, this, that, and the other. Like, how do you do this? This is how I'm doing. And he'll be like, oh yeah, that's the exact same way how I do it. Like, you're doing it the same way I do it. And I'm like, okay, if somebody's successful like him is gonna tell me that's the way he's doing it, then I'm gonna say, okay, then that's good. And the beauty of it is we all learn from each other. You know, we're not out here acting like we know it all. Phil is an extremely successful business owner. So is Miss Ward. But they're not so prideful that they're like, oh, yeah, I'm not gonna talk to you peasants down there. Phil will always help you out. Miss Ward, you might have to maneuver your way in there. She's a little more strict with who. She's not gonna just talk to anybody. But these guys and gals right here are real entrepreneurs. They encourage me a lot to continue to do what I do. Because let's be honest, it's hard. It's hard doing what we do. So once again, we thank you. Any closing words, Phil?
I appreciate you guys having me on, and definitely, I mean, keeping a healthy relationship is important. I mean, I keep a healthy relationship with TK and Miss Ward and a bunch of other people on the channel, you know, and it's key to keeping yourself healthy is to reach out to the other people that are healthy too, so we can all be healthy together.
Facts. All right. Well, Phil, I'm in Augusta on Saturday, so I don't know if you're gonna be barbecuing, working on the truck, or around. I'm a holler.
Figure out something. So it's back to school weekend. The kid, I got one started high school went back to high school today. I got my elementary kids starting on Monday, so it's back to school weekend. But we'll figure something out in Augusta. Let me know.
All right, man.
All right, everybody.
Together, holler. You know, I like playing with things.
There you go. Thanks again, guys and gals. We will see you again next week. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for a Freestyle Friday with EJ and whoever he's got coming on. I'm not sure who it is. If you haven't subscribed to Miss Ward's channel, make sure you go over to Solid Steps to Wealth. She's always dropping good videos. If you haven't signed up for the Service Alliance Group.com, make sure you run over there and sign up. If you have any questions, concerns, anything like that, feel free to reach out to me or any of the other admins and moderators of the groups. And once again, we thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you next time. Peace.